We are waiting for the broadcast to begin. Looking at everyone in the chat right now. There's the chat right there. Can you see the chat, Mitch?
Yes.
See it? You can see that Draco's in here. We can see that Anuska Blue's in here. Darling Ray. Christine Robshaw. Greg's in here.
Yes.
Looks good, looks good. What's up, beautiful people? It's me, Drive, and look who I have here. We're in the same room. FATHERDUDE, all the way from New York to Denver.
New York to Denver.
Why are you here today, FATHERDUDE?
Well, I'm here to announce... Well, no, we already announced it yesterday, but I am playing tonight with this guy at Bluebird Theater. Our first ever DRYVE FATHERDUDE live performance.
It's true. We are performing tonight at the Bluebird Theater in Denver at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And most of you on this live stream right now are probably not in Denver. And unfortunately, we are not going to be live streaming the event. Why? Because I'm lazy and didn't set that up. It didn't even occur to me till just now.
Yeah. Plus, it's our first show, so
it is.
We're gonna by the time you get to see it, it'll be a nice well-oiled machine.
I only do one drive show a year right now, so this is the only drive show this year so far. There might be another one.
Yeah.
But it won't be outside of my home market, unfortunately. For all of you that have been dying to see Drive live, I'm sorry. We'll get it there eventually.
We definitely will.
We're working on it. But yeah, FATHERDUDE's in town. He's here to sing some of the Payback songs live for the very first time ever. We're going to play with some house DJs. It's a house DJ show, and we're going to play live synthwave.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll have to represent synthwave tonight.
Yep. We're holding it down for synthwave and the synthwave community in the midst of a very electronic house EDM event.
Yeah. That will be fun. You'll be playing bass.
I'll be playing bass live and singing some of the songs from 80s Kids live and playing some synth live, and FATHERDUDE will be drooling on stage.
Yeah. That's how I sing. It's a wet mess.
It is. It's a wet mess. So yeah, FATHERDUDE's here. As you all know him from the Payback, from Scammer Payback.
And more than that, I realized that, the songs we're doing tonight, and what I guess a lot of people know, it's not just the Payback. Like, we're doing songs from... What was the name of the first album that you did?
Oh, yeah. The Suleiman Lamour album is Only Love, and we're doing City Nights.
City Nights off of that, and then you just put out 80s Kids, and we got Image Capture on that. So now we're, like, spanning a few albums, and,
There's a lot of material. I think FATHERDUDE and I have done, like, a lot of songs together, and we did a lot of songs that never came out before the DRYVE project was even a thing.
That's true.
Yeah. We did many songs that never came out. I think maybe like 2 came out.
Really?
There was like a cover of Latch, and then there was the 16 song.
Oh my god! You know what's funny is that we knew each other. That was like relatively recent. Like there were years that we never did.
Yeah, so I met FATHERDUDE here in like 2014 on the internet, because he was singing on tracks, and I was producing tracks, and then I went out to New York to play a show before I was DRYVE, when I was in my other project that I do, and he came out and we hung out, and we've done a lot of stuff together. We went and performed South by Southwest together.
Yep.
In 2016.
Yep. And
we spent like a week just getting like drinking a lot.
Yeah.
We all got really sick.
Yeah.
You and Randy and I. It was after though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we got home and we realized, were we just missing each other a lot, or was it a terrible bacterial infection?
Yeah, I mean, we were sharing the same sleeping domicile. So.
But that was great. That was a time and era, and we've evolved into doing this stuff, which honestly, like sometimes it takes time to figure out what makes the most sense. And this one, obviously, we love doing it, and we know that you guys love hearing it. So it's not like we're stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, it's interesting how many people are into like the kind of '80s vibe, and I mean, I'm into it because I was born in 1979, so it's what I know from growing up is
right
80s stuff. So I think it was easy for me to gravitate towards it. But I even see that I see a lot of comments from really young kids are like, I wish I was born in the '80s, and they're like,
yeah,
I wish I grew up in the '80s. I love this music. It's like, yeah.
If you'd like to live through several crippling world events, then you too would have been born in the '80s.
Well, it's easy to
No, of course.
it's easy to romanticize things like the past.
Yes.
It's just like when you're in a relationship with someone and it sucks. So you guys you split up for whatever reasons, and then later you're like you only kind of remember the good stuff, and then maybe you guys get back together, and then you're like, oh yeah, I remember why this sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like the '80s had its problems, but in hindsight, it looks really good.
Oh, absolutely.
But there was dope shit in the '80s.
Absolutely. I mean, I still I don't really show it to people, but I have in my studio room, and I should do this, and this would be a good TikTok. I have like my little setup, kind of like this, and then in the other part of the room, there's a bench, and I have a TV that's like a 13-inch tube television. That's color, and I have a VCR, and I have like a giant VHS collection that's, obviously video cassettes are from, 82 on or something. So it's kind of this cool nostalgic corner in this room, and I like to use it for like inspiration. If I'm working on music, maybe I'll take a break and like pop in an old horror movie or an 80s classic or something like that. It definitely fits like our vibe and the music we make.
Just so you know, Father Dude's inspiration for writing music is watching Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Yeah.
He likes the chop 'em up bed scene.
I just got Freddy's Dead on VHS. That stuff is not cheap anymore either.
No, it's because all that old media has had a resurgence. You can't get that shit for cheap anymore. It's like buying I tried to buy Super Nintendo games, and they used to be you could buy them for $5 on eBay. Now people want $50 for this fucking game.
Yep. If you want cheap stuff now, that is old. I wouldn't even say nostalgic. I mean, DVDs are still dirt cheap because we're kind of stuck between, But that's how, like you just said, that's how people were about, those games and about VHS, 10 years ago.
It's very true.
15 years ago. So, you know how this stuff goes. Keep your band shirts. You might sell them in 20 years.
Yeah, hang on to all that stuff. Well, I mean, it's funny because, CDs, not that people buy CDs anymore, but when CDs came out, they were expensive. They were $30 in the 80s. And they're still I think they're cheaper now than they were in the 80s.
I don't know how much they were then, but I remember end of the 90s, a new CD was $18, $18.
Yeah, when did CDs start? I think it was the end of the 80s, or maybe it was the early 90s.
CDs?
Can we get a Wikipedia from someone on that?
Well, it definitely was early 80s, and 83 or so, 82, 83, and then they got popular and everything digitized. They digitized all the vinyl shit by the end of the 80s, so that was the first generation of transfers. And then they ended up redoing all that stuff because the transfers were kind of weak. And
everybody got rid of their vinyl collections for $5 for all their vinyl, and now vinyl's worth all this money again.
Yep.
Because it was digital will be forever. Remember fucking?
Oh yeah.
Remember Laserdisc?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The size of a vinyl, a CD.
Yeah. Here's a vinyl-sized disc.
I remember them bringing that into school rooms. That was they spent everything of the budget on this Laserdisc. Whatever. Some educational thing. That was a moment. A very short moment.
There it is. October 1st, 1982, Sony put out the first CD. Wow. 82. I mean, I was on cassette tapes forever. I don't think that we didn't even have a CD player in my household till maybe the late 80s, early 90s. And they were expensive.
Yeah. And they were selling new cassettes into up to 2000, I remember making a decision on I was well, it's 18 or 11, and I was I'll go for the cheaper thing. I have a cassette player.
I miss cassettes, and the reason that I liked cassettes is like you would like. Now we have the streaming on the cloud, and every single song in the whole world's like at access to me at any point, as soon as I want it. But cassettes is like you like saved up your allowance money. You went and bought this new cassette. That's all you had for. You only have the cassette tape for like it would be weeks till you got a new one, and like if you wanted to hear this one song, you would have to keep rewinding or fast forwarding through the cassette. Yeah. So I would just listen to the whole cassette, and I became a massive fan of like these bands, and I knew all their catalog because of being forced to listen through it.
That's really funny. That's so true. I forgot about that. Excuse me. When you got CDs, you're like, oh, I could skip around so much easier. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
and I love like the one thing about the beauty of an album is like getting to know like when a song ends and you can anticipate what's next. Like you already hear the next note of the next song. That's how well you get to know this stuff because you listen as a body of work.
You get excited that you know that of what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would get all hyped up about the next song. I think my first cassette was like Michael Jackson Thriller.
Oh yeah, that was my first album, the CD though.
Yeah, you had on CD. Jeez.
That's the 4 years difference there.
The 4 years. Oh, you're 4 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So you're 39 now.
I'll be 39 in like a week.
Wow. I mean, I've known you for like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Coming up on 9.
It would be funny to see what we looked like in 2014 juxtaposed with us now. Like electronic era us. You always wore that fedora.
I wore that Hegemon hat. I still have it.
That's true. You did.
It's right there. It's right up, hanging up there. I look the same.
Yeah.
I think I have more crow's feet now.
Yeah.
I think I have more gray hair from the stress of the music business.
Mm-hmm. But it was all worth it.
I think that we still look relatively young for our age, and I feel like I was looking at like my friends that were. I play in a band too, and the guys that are in the band were over here the other night, and they're all, most of them are in the vicinity of our age. And I was like, everybody looks relatively like young still. And I was like, maybe it's because of playing music.
And you know how it is when you look at nostalgic videos, era videos, and we all kind of look and we're like, oh, everybody looks so much older. I mean, that's like a trick of the mind, obviously, trick of the eye and mind. We all kind of do that, but yeah, maybe also there's a little truth to the fact that we're able to kind of society as a whole, like we're able to kind of like pick from eras at this point in a way that we never were, music wise, fashion wise, everything. Like we're not only are things we can pick from them, but they're accessible in a way that it never was. So it's cool that we can do this and kind of tap into this era that we all love. Somebody said the fold.
The lyrics
the folded.
Yeah.
Have you done cassette tapes?
I have the cassette tape of it's right here. I have the cassette tape of my first EP.
There it is.
This is you can't get these if you're trying to get one of these. These are sold out. I know this is blurry. This camera is all blurry, but yeah, there it is. Look, I don't think it has lyrics in it. That's way more blurry.
Yeah, that's way worse.
I think we have to hold it back here.
Perfect.
Are we super blurry, you guys? It looks blurry. But yeah, I have it on cassette. And speaking of cassette, we still have Payback vinyls. They're sitting right here. We're selling them at the show tonight. If you bought the Payback on vinyl, thank you so much. If you do not have the Payback on vinyl, you're in luck because FATHERDUDE's here. And if you buy a Payback vinyl today on the Bandcamp, I'll have him sign it, and I'll sign it before he's leaving tomorrow morning. So you only have today to get it done and to get it signed. But I'll have him sign it, and then maybe I'll just have you sign some to have anyways. But
yeah, absolutely.
I'll have you sign one for me.
That's it.
You sign my vinyl.
I will sign your vinyl, and I'm getting to. I actually held the vinyl 2 days ago for the first time. I've just been literally looking at everybody's posts. Thank you guys for posting it and buying it, obviously, and it's gotten a nice boost from that, and even some like vinyl heads really like it because of the coloring on it.
Yeah, the coloring
and everything.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's so yeah, very very good job, Ross. Definitely spearheaded that. So you know, great work on that. It looks awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the first time I've ever that's the first time I've ever mastered, because I guess when I did my first records vinyl, the label mastered it for me, but this time I had to handle my own vinyl mastering, and it actually came out better than the debut album on vinyl. Because the debut album sounds good, but I think it has too much low end bass, and that stuff breaks up a little bit on the vinyl, so it annoys me a little bit.
Right. But that's what you mixed it differently for the Payback, right?
For the Payback, I made sure that I rolled the bass off, and I made sure that the masters were very, like, there's like hardly any real mastering. It's just very dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Although I haven't listened to it, I've heard from people that it sounds really good. So.
It says who we got here? UK wants us to speak about how you met Pierogi and that whole project came about. So the Payback. I've talked about it before, but talk about it again with FATHERDUDE chilling out here. Sorry, I'm monitoring the feed on my phone to make sure that's not having dropouts, and I have my girlfriend also monitoring the audio, so I know it's not sucking. But we did City Nights, which is a track I originally put out as an instrumental, and I thought it was like I thought it was a burner track. I didn't really think that track was that great. I made it in like Costa Rica while I was having coffee in like a half hour. And I was like, whatever, it's a burner track, I just put this out as like, you know, as I was launching the DRYVE project, just to have a couple of things out before I did an album. And everybody, for some reason, like really gravitated towards that track. And that might have to do with the fact that it like bites that Don Henley melody pretty hard. On the synth, Boys of Summer. It's no secret. Everyone knows it. Every time I post it on TikTok, everybody's like, this is basically Boys of Summer. It's like, I mean, is that why you like it? It's why the people like it. But it became like kind of a thing, and I sent it to FATHERDUDE here, and I was like, yo, it'd be sick if he sang on this. And he did City Nice, and I didn't like it when he first did it.
You didn't like it?
I was so used to the instrumental by then.
You're so used to Boys of Summer.
I was like, why is this not, you know, black sticker on a Cadillac? You know, instead. Then I got really used to it. It was like, yeah, I think this is a really great song. So I put it on my first album, my debut DRYVE album, and you know, I had these guys hitting me up, desperately trying to contact me through the label, and they were never relaying the messages, so they messaged me directly on Bandcamp. We're like, hey, you got this song called City Nights, and we love it, and we wish you could play it on the stream. We keep getting, you know, flag notices from your label over it. Can you try to clear it? And I was like, you know, so I didn't really get it cleared because the label's slow, but they were like, hey, you know, it'd be really cool if you made something like that for our YouTube channel. And I'm kind of like, yeah, great, whatever, dude. Like, I didn't know of Scammer Payback, or I didn't check it out. They didn't even say the name of it. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess, whatever. I kind of blew it off for a few days, and they hit me back again, and I was like, okay, sure. And they sent me the link, and I checked it out, and I didn't even pay attention how many followers they had or anything. I just looked at the video that they'd sent, and I was like, oh, this is like, I ended up watching it for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, you get lost in it.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I like this. Yeah. So I was like, hit up, and then I went and I looked, they had like 1 million followers. I was like, oh, this would be, you know, this is an awesome channel, but alone, also it would help the reach of the project so much. So I hit up FATHERDUDE here because he did City Nice with me, and I figured, let's do something that's for this. And I called him on the phone, and they were like, yeah. And I was like, so you want it to be like, you know, about Scammer Payback? And they were like, yeah. And I had the idea for the hook. Remember, I was like, it should be like the Payback.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Payback. So I hit up Mitch here, FATHERDUDE, and he was down, and I sat down that afternoon and made the track and sent it to him, and he crushed. I think we had the whole song done in like 5 days, like mixed. Like, we delivered it like that week.
Yeah. It's nice, you know, like, as artists, it's a double-edged sword when you have a blank canvas. So we can always create from nothing, and it's nice to be like, oh, here's a new project, or here's some new songs. I'm just going to create without any intention. But it's especially nice to have parameters, and that's what Pierogi and Scammer Payback was able to do, which was so great. It was like, here is a concept, here is an existing thing that's really cool, and has created its own world, and now we get to just set a soundtrack to it. You were telling me the other day that he starts playing the song for Scammers, and he's like, you know what that is?
Yeah,
I love that.
You know, I told Father Dude here. I was like, dude, we probably have a like rabid fan base in India.
Yeah.
They probably low key love that song. But anyways, yeah, like so we got the Payback done, and then like we were like not gonna release the track. It was gonna be just for the channel. We did the whole track front to back, and you know they gave us a little bit of money for it, and I was like, we're never gonna put this out. Like I was working on thinking about my next project, and then they were like calling me, like Brandon over there was calling me like, are you gonna put this out? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, everybody loves it on the channel. You should pop in sometime and watch a live stream. Because I don't catch a lot of live streams. I'm really busy with like, producing music. That's like, I live inside of this thing that's behind me here, and I produce music nonstop. So, I got on a live stream and I saw when I jumped in, I saw the reaction. I saw when the song got played and I saw the reaction. Then I started to see the social media reaction of people just flooding my Twitter and my Instagram, like, is this song going to come out? So Father Dude and I talked, and we decided let's put this out, and that was by far the most successful like pre-save and like first day release campaign I'd had up to that point. Beyond other projects I've been involved in, there are far more successful projects of mine. The pre-save campaign was like we had like 300 pre-saves in like that week.
That's you guys, really. Honestly, you guys have been amazing the whole time, and to answer that that question about like, did Pierogi help? Yeah, I remember in the beginning we got some characters, obviously, that he's done, and thematic ideas.
Because I would watch the streams and I would like he always says join the fight, so we wrote join the fight,
right?
And
the other one was Red Cherry was like about
Vivian.
Vivian, and like and the characters, and I was picturing, like an older woman getting ready to hit the town, I don't know, it was just like, I'd have to like really go back into it, but it was always like a very visual thing to me because he already created some characters. We already have our own type of view of those things, and we kind of put them in different worlds and kind of created our own world by taking characters from his world and marrying those two things. I mean, I really love creating like that because it helps.
To have somebody that gives you a theme, and
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, the way I saw the Payback when so Pierogi hit us back up and was like, we love the Payback. We'd like 2 more songs, Red Cherry and Each and Everything, and those he thematically came up with those ideas. And that's when it dawned on me. I was like, what if we did an album for this channel, and it was like an action movie, like this album called The Payback. It's like an action film type of like theme where it's like it's like this revenge thing kind of, and the story around it, and there's love sections to it, and
like On the Run, like I pictured Terminator, like that was
it's
like
very Terminator.
Yeah, like me on the cover was like I pictured like the eye and like just this bot kind of that never gives up, just Terminator type of stuff, very 80s. But yeah, everything was very visual in as far as the creation, at least on my end of things, writing the lyrics and melodies and stuff. I just pictured myself in that world.
Oh, look at this comment. He had the Scammers singing one of the songs when he was in his Tesla scene. That's hilarious.
Wow.
Red Cherry is a go-to track. Yeah, Red Cherry. Like, I was like on the fence about how much I liked Red Cherry because it's very like Prince, and it's very like pop 80s as opposed to what I normally do in the synthwave thing with Drive, and but once we got the track done, I remember sending you like one of the mixes. I was like, this might be the best sounding song of like the whole thing. And that song's like that's a sleeper track. Like that's low key like a pretty like popular track within the Drive and Scammer Payback community.
Because that, like we were talking about our influences, our 80s influences. For me, I mean like definitely Prince, but like Michael Jackson and Phil Collins is huge, and Mr. Mister is actually one of like my biggest 80s pop influences.
Mr. Mister. We can hear all that in the songs. Like "Join the Fight" reminds me of like something Phil Collins would write for Disney.
Yeah.
Or "I Am No One" reminds me. I like that song so much because it sounds like a Michael Jackson. That sounds like a Michael Jackson song to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything about it.
There's something so great, and that's what's great, and I'm glad we were able to kind of like lean into the more pop part of the '80s stuff with synthwave because, I mean, we all love that stuff. Like you can't say you love the '80s stuff and neglect the names I just mentioned. So it's like, it's nice that we were able to do pop stuff and then do darker stuff and On the Run and all, and the Payback and more like synthwave and very specific in that. But we allowed ourselves to do Red Cherry, which is great because like we both love that stuff, and I'd love to do more of that stuff for sure.
Yeah, and obviously, Father Dude and I are actively pursuing a new project. I mean, the same project, but when I say project, like a body of work.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actively pursuing something that will hopefully be out sometime in the next calendar 12 months.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We already have definitely a few songs at least that are being crafted right now. So yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, well, when we got together last summer, Father Dude and I went up to my cabin for I think we were only up there for 3 days, and we probably had 10 songs. And Out of Frame was one of those.
Oh yeah,
we had the demo for Out of Frame.
That's how to how did that album happen? We obviously did the Payback, and then we did maybe a couple more, sending back and forth from New York to Denver over. We were doing them online. And then I came out, and we really did the bulk. I feel like we at least did half for that album.
Yeah, Out of Frame. I'm looking at the songs right now. I Am No One was here. Well, you were here. What else was it? They Don't Care About You was one from here. Lightning Touch was a beat I had forever.
Yeah. I feel like Hotline, I don't know, maybe not.
No, I sent you...
Dream On?
Dream On was one, yeah. And then stuff we did over the net was Join the Fight, Each and Everything.
Who said something about Each and Everything, telling you each and everything?
Where was it at?
Right there.
Oh yeah, well that was Progy's thing because they're telling you they would say you're my each and everything or some shit.
And that's also from our viewpoint, I mean Red Cherry is very pop, 80s pop, very happy sounding, not dark at all, and Each and Everything is a very R&B leaning track, which is maybe not what would be expected with synthwave purists, if that's an actual thing. I don't even know. But anyway, it's nice to know that people all allowed us, and I mean not allowed us, but embraced these things on the fringe of what we're doing. Because we have always as producers and songwriters touched upon R&B, touched upon pop, and obviously synthwave, and it's just nice to be able to mesh these things, mash these things together.
Blue Star says that I Am No One is their favorite. Oh, Monk Standing Last is really looking out for me here, saying that no, that's Monk. That's it's just a reflection. It's not a space in the window back there. Monk also said that it looks like there's some triangular light on our heads.
Oh, that's just Illuminati.
That's we are currently being vetted to be in the Illuminati, so this project blows up. To pop this
album
a
small
off.
Red dot on both of your
yeah, there's a small red dot on both of your temples currently. Yeah, In Sync-ish is Each and Everything. So when they when Pierogi hit us up with the theme for Each and Everything, they said they wanted a boy band sounding song. So yeah, I went and listened they sent me a reference. It was a Backstreet Boys tune. I can't remember which one, but I went and listened to it, and that's why the beat and stuff for Each and Everything is very different from the rest of the album. Is because I typically don't make boy band pop, but it worked.
But if you go to make this is a secret for you producers. Boy band pop from the 90s is just R&B. It's just R&B with little white kids singing it. That's all it is.
Young.
And it was made by Babyface. It's R&B music. It's you know, and it's just done, and it's just tweaked in a certain way, and a certain, you know, demographic sings it, and that's what it is, and it's brilliant music. Honestly, you know, I've definitely been influenced by it, and it was so cool to make that.
Blue Star says no skips on the Payback. Well, I mean, try to put out records that have no skips. That's the whole goal. No skips.
That's the goal. Thank you.
Payback, yeah, super solid front to back. Thank you. UK's asked me if I have any more collabs with Cassiopeia. No, nothing. I don't even have anything planned for another Drive record right now. Honestly, I'm working on a project with FATHERDUDE that's going to be a FATHERDUDE Drive project, more leaning towards what he does, mixed with what I do. As to where you know, previous works lean a little more into the Drive area. We're going to go the other route. And as far as the new Drive albums, I'm kind of letting what I have out marinate for a while. It's still finding new people every day and new fans. And I mean, I put out in the last 2 years, not even 2 years, in 18 months, I put out 1 EP and 3 albums. One's the collaborative album with you, but it's a lot of work.
Yep.
It's been a lot of work. I need some time to chill out, work on some other projects, work on some other people's projects, and.
But don't worry, as far as, you know, the thing that we're working on, that's the collaborative album. I mean, 3 of those tracks were written during the same sessions we did
For Payback.
Payback. So it's
it's
going to be very in the same world.
It'll still be synthwave.
It's going to be synthwave. It's going to be something I have no doubt you're going to really like it. So come out.
It's gonna be garbage.
It is.
We're trying to make the worst body work possible for you guys.
This is the back pay.
Yeah. What I say is I never am sarcastic either.
Yeah. Sounds like sonography.
Yeah, you'll discover all these references, phrases, but otherwise you can stand on its own. Yeah, the Payback record it does reference a lot of what goes on the Scammer Payback channel. A lot of the dialogue in there and things that Pierogi says and does. But you know, I think the FATHERDUDE, you know, with the Payback, FATHERDUDE handled writing the lyrics. I handled the production and the music, and then we kind of come together on doing the arrangement and sort of how things feel.
It's cool. You give me a lot of room to create on what I do. I mean, maybe people don't know, but like that's how a lot of music is made these days. Is, you know, at least on the publishing, is you think of records as half track, half music, and half melodic, melodic vocals and lyrics. That's how things are kind of looked at in the music industry. It's like 2 halves of a whole is the song, and I think the best way to do it, and we've done it forever like this, is we respect what we both do, so we give each other a lot of room to do what we do in there. And honestly, you know, there are times where I'll give him stuff and he'll make sense of it, and maybe arrangement wise, where, you know, something needs a break in time here and needs to sit for a second before the vocals come back in, or maybe there's things that need to be cut up, or, you know, if something's wrong, you know, he'll tell me. But for the most part, we let each other work, which is really great and helpful, and it makes it fun.
Well, it's good to do with collabs with people you trust, and that's why you're doing the collabs, because you know, you like this person's work and you like their ideas and you trust what they're gonna do. And you know, with Mitch, it's really easy. He doesn't have to send me. He never sends me crap. I never spend a bunch of time tuning vocals or editing vocals, or like I never have to hit him back and go like, you should re-sing this whole thing because it's terrible. That's never happened one time. Amy G asks, do either of you ever have anxiety or performing in front of audiences live, and how on earth do you calm yourself down if so? Well, sometimes a couple drinks before the show might work, but neither of us are drinking right now, so
yeah.
Tonight's gonna be a very sober set, and I'm a little anxious. I mean I played one Drive show and it was a year ago, so I'm a little on edge about it.
Yeah, I still get nervous to this day. I've been performing since I was 9 years old, and I still get nerves. You know, that never goes away. I don't think it should, really, but you kind of want a little less, I guess. I don't know. There's no real trick. I mean, it's part of it.
Yeah. I mean, The funny thing for me is like, so I started singing in a band like last year, and that for me, I'm way more comfortable. I have way less nerves doing that than in like when I would get up and DJ, I would be like a wreck. Like I would be like a nervous wreck to go do that. I don't know why, because it doesn't feel right to me. And even just like, you know, playing instruments on stage, like tonight, you know, Father Dude sings a lot on it, and I play a lot of instruments, and for some reason that makes me nervous. I don't know why. I just feel like I would be less nervous if I sang the whole set, but for some reason I'm super nervous about.
I mean, all you gotta do is just not fuck up.
It's easy. Just don't mess up.
Don't mess up. Yeah, and as far as performing, one of the things, and this happens with any show you see, you'll notice, you know, you can sound check, you know, and sound great and feel great, but then a few hours pass by and, you know, sets change and all that stuff. When you, I don't know if you'll notice this, but in a lot of live stuff you see, you know, the first song is people getting their feet under them. You know, the sound guy, the front of house mixer is still making levels, you know, level changes now that the room is full, and you know, maybe something's not working the way it was because something got moved or whatever, but you'll notice that, you know, it takes a couple of songs to get the set in the right place for everybody, including the performers.
Yeah, to feel good when you're up there.
To feel good. So, so be patient with, you know, most artists that don't have, you know, millions of dollars worth of production to get it exactly right. But even them, I mean, it's no different. That's just the name of the game.
It's very true. So Voodoo asks, we're playing at a club. Yeah, we're playing at Bluebird Theater in Denver tonight. Is there anyone from Denver in this chat right now? I'm going to guess that there's not. Yeah, I'm going to guess that we don't have anybody from Denver in this chat. Luke says he was a DJ for a couple years and used to get extra nervous because lots of people knew we were going to be where I was going to play. Yeah, it's I mean, DJing for me always felt weird because I'm a producer and I play instruments, and I came from a band world, so when I started making electronic music, it was like you had to DJ out of like necessity. Like, we want you to play live. I was like, shit, what am I going to do? Like, so I have to go DJ. Oh, well, yeah, Katie's from Denver, but that's my
Katie's
girlfriend.
coming out.
Yeah, Katie, you're on the guest list. Don't worry, we got you. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, if anybody in here is from Denver, I have a couple spots left on the guest list, so feel free to hit me up about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna jam tonight, and that's why Father Dude is here in town, and we don't want to take up too much time here because we actually have to be at the venue. They moved it. We have to be there at 3 now instead of 5. So we just want to jump on here, give you guys all a look at this fine specimen of a human here, and yeah.
Yeah, more to come, and really, like, you know, we type a lot in the chat rooms and stuff, but thank you, genuinely thank you for, you know, supporting the project. We wouldn't be here without it, you know, without the support.
Yeah, the Payback was I think it was life-changing for both his project and my project. So it was definitely a level up. All the support from the community and Scammer Payback, and just projecting this project further into solidifying it as like a staple in the synthwave community, which is very niche and very small. So if you're part of the synthwave community here, then you know you're part of a very small niche of people that are into this type of music, and I think that's pretty fucking cool. And a lot of pop artists borrow from this music all the time, so we know it's good. But thanks everyone for being here. We'll rock it out tonight. I'm sure we'll have some video or some stuff to show at some point.
We'll post something.
Like I said, Father Dude's here. I can get signed copies of the Payback right now. Hit the Bandcamp if you want to get them. That's right. I'm going to have him move his hand on top of these records. And we'll see you all soon. Peace and love.